years. So I would say it doesn't make a whole lot of sense us shifting gears like this. But my main argument is that we don't have the authority, and when we get involved, it generally very rarely does much good.
Well, how so? What do you mean it doesn't do much good?
Well, when we go in for humanitarian reasons, supposedly, usually we're going in for other reasons. For instance, what we don't know this time is who the opposition really is. There's pretty good evidence now coming out that there's probably some military people involved. Obviously, they have some weapons. That is the center. So it might be an old-fashioned military coup that they've been able to capture some popular support for, and you might be, getting rid of one dictator and bringing in another one for all we know. I mean, the intent is good. I mean, it's everybody feels good about it and wants to help, but just like going into Iraq, it was going to be a couple weeks, and we were going to rid that country of Saddam Hussein, and the oil would pay all the bills. And look at the tragedy that came out of that, and that's far from settled over there. We've been in Afghanistan 10 years. So what are we going to do? When are the troops going to go in? Most good military people say you cannot resolve that problem in Libya without ground troops. Otherwise, all it does is solidify the people against the people who are dropping bombs on them. So I don't expect a whole lot of good to come from this. It should be settled internally. If the Arab League wants to get involved, they should be. They first encouraged us to do this in the UN, and then they changed their mind. They had an emergency meeting yesterday, and they said, hey, we didn't expect you to do all this bombing. We thought you'd just make sure those airplanes weren't flying. So they're very upset with it, and they've essentially withdrew support for this whole program.
Beyond those who say there's a moral reason to go in, there some also point to, well, look, a huge number of refugees leaving the country is going to destabilize Egypt, is going to destabilize Tunisia. So there is some sort of a strategic interest in order to try to stop that. You don't buy it?
No, I mean, there may be, but I still don't think that puts the obligation on us. I think our policies, our foreign policies, are destabilizing the world financial community, and it's going to destabilize this country because we spend $1 trillion a year on our foreign policy to keep it going, and we're totally bankrupt. And here we're taking another project on, probably spend another $200 million dropping bombs on Libya. So we're destabilizing the world, and if you think we're in there now to prevent this destabilization, I think the opposite is occurring. I think for us to be now involved in another Muslim country doesn't sit well with most of the Muslims of the world.
Had the United States sat by, though, wouldn't the United States be accused of siding with Gaddafi? And being attacked in the Muslim world for standing by and watching?
Well, they might, but sometimes we have supported dictators like that. I mean, look how much money we gave to Egypt. I mean, $70 billion, and that was a dictatorship too. So yes, we do subsidize, but the Muslims despise us for having so many puppet governments in the Middle East, whether it's Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and all these countries, and that's what they resent. So I think the world is much more unstable, and we are in a much worse predicament, both internationally speaking and financially, because of this foreign policy. And I think it needs to stop. It would stop if we had people who cared about the Constitution, because we just flat out don't have the authority to go around pretending that we can take care of everybody and police the world.
Congressman Paul, I appreciate your time. Thank you.